Everybody, it's Jean here, Jean Truelove from Truelove Quilts for You. I have a tutorial for you today, and it was interesting that one of the last videos I had put up, I was reviewing my little book, right? My little quilting answer book. If you haven't seen it, quite a lot of you either have this book or really like this book. It's a good book. But I was sitting over in my little sitting area in my sewing room, reviewing my book. Like, look at the book, folks, look at the book, folks, look at the book, folks. And on the wall behind me was a little organizer. I just had to laugh because I got so many comments like, ooh, tell us how you make that. So show us how you made your little sewing organizer. And I thought, oh, I don't want to do this. I had made this years ago, in my sewing room. I had used I do a lot of embroidery, and I had this big honking plastic, it's a good one, embroidery hoop. And I think I saw it. I don't think it's original, but I just figured it out. So everybody's like, oh, you're going to do one. And I'm like, I don't want to do one. But then I thought, all right, you guys have been so nice and loyal. The back wasn't done. Well, this back is done horrible. So I thought, well, I did not have another plastic embroidery hoop, so I had to go get one. So I went and got one, and I must say it's not quite as strong as my plastic, but it's worked out fine. And this is what I have a tutorial on for you guys today, okay? What I've done is I've made it similar in fabric to the other one. So you were all like, oh, I love that. So I just pulled, that was years ago. So I just pulled some similar so it looks a little bit the same. Now my other one had a little bit of ball fringe on this pocket here. I put rickrack on. I'm like a hot gluing mess. I went to open my phone and it said, because I have a fingertip recognition. We do not recognize your fingertip because it's full of hot glue. Isn't that funny? There's strings all over. I don't love working with hot glue. And this is okay. It didn't turn out great. My back, it's a card. I like it. I did a cardboard, and I show you how I did that. But do as I say, not as I do. I haven't made one of these, and it's sort of a crafty thing. What you want to do is when you get to the point where you've secured your hoop onto your pockets, okay? I trimmed away. I trimmed about a half an inch. I say an inch. You need to trim like 2 inches to push all that rubbish inside on the back, which I didn't. I'm not even going to take pictures of it because it looks pretty as you look at it. When it's against the wall, it looks lovely. I did put like a little bit of, I'd found these little heart stickers, just little things to embellish this silly little thing. I put rickrack on it. My hoop, which is a wooden hoop, which I asked a bit much of it. When you go to, again, common sense, if you go to make this, it's very simple. Basically, I used 4 fat quarters, a bit of batting, the hoop, and the rickrack for this. I used the fusible batting. I say in the beginning, I happen to have a polyester batting. Fusible batting, I don't know where I got it. But if you just have a piece of leftover batting, it really is a sweet little project. A little bit of trim. That was a hunk of lace I had. And the hoop. Now the hoop isn't as good as my good plastic one. And I do believe years ago I had gotten that online, a nice plastic one. This was only $7. So that might have been maybe double. But I think I would have done the hoop. But my fault, my bad, I forced this hunkin' lot of batting and fabric and layers in the hoop. It worked. It actually worked. It worked good. As you know, an embroidery hoop, you have to put the inner hoop to the back and then squeeze on the outer hoop and then tighten the top. Well, I did it, but it's forced a little bit of this area up here, which I put a bunch of hot glue in, so it's not going to come out, and it's going to go stationary against my wall. So I show you how to make it. You need a bit of cardboard for the back, either a box. I just covered a bit of card. Again, do as I say, or do as I don't do as I say. I I traced the size of the hoop, but it was a little bit big, so it stays up, it's a little bit proud here, and you can sort of see it on the back. That's why I put this the rickrack on it, but I just embellished it. It's just a sweet little thing, and it's sturdy. And again, this will hold my tools. I did pockets for all sorts of different sizes. Having said that, no, it goes. I've done the pockets on the edge. I've done pockets here. I've done larger pockets for my my rotary cutters. As you can see, I have all sorts of things that I can put in my pens, and then again, my pockets for my pockets in the back for my rulers. So there you go. So this little holder is sturdy. It's really, really sweet. I hope you enjoy the tutorial. Let me just try to think. I just put a hunk of lace on that. I was getting fed up. You don't have to put the rickrack, or you can put a little bit of like I said, on that one I put a little bit of ball fringe. You could do whatever, but I would recommend you get a plastic hoop. This hoop is a lot sturdier than this wooden one, although it's worked. It's worked fine, and I think it's pretty. So there you go. You guys were not paying attention to my tutorial. You're looking all around my room, right? You're going right now, I wonder what that is. I wonder what that is. But anyway, I hope you enjoy this little tutorial for my my little holder. I was saying it could be in a craft room for paper cutting, for card making things. You could have in an artist studio for paint brushes. You can have needle knitting needles, crochet hooks. You can put patterns back here, all sorts of things, and it's a pretty little thing to hang on your wall. So this is a big hoop. I tell you in the beginning that you can get smaller hoops and make just maybe one little pocket. You know, just across. This is a double pocket. I show you how to do that. And also, I was at a store, and I say in the beginning of my tutorial that I had seen a large oval. And that doesn't matter. You could improvise, or you could tailor my tutorial with the pocket making to whatever you want to put in your little organizer. So that's my tutorial for today. I do hope you love it. You asked for it. I'm like, oh God, I better do this for these people. What else are you going to see on the end? Oh, because that was funny, because I was sitting there, and I had shown you my basket quilt, which I made years ago. Like, oh, let me see that. Are you guys paying attention to me and what I'm saying? You're looking in the background, right? There's so much to look at. I know. But anyway, I hope you enjoy this tutorial, folks. Yeah, it's not fabulous. It's not great. I ended up using a hot glue gun. And as I say, don't trim off as much as I do. You got to tuck, you got to trim. But once you get going, you'll realize. But again, don't trim it off too close, because I did put the backing on. Cardboard back, but it was a little bit big and a little bit messy, but it's so pretty. So I hope you enjoy this. All right, folks, love from the Trueloves. So Ian's just come in from work, and I showed him my handy dandy little organizer, and it was hanging up on the wall, and I said, oh, I have two of them, and the first thing Ian said was,
this would make a superb Patreon prize.
Yes. So this next month I'm going to be giving this away to one of my patrons. I'll pack it up, and you're not going to hold me to the crafty hot glue mess on it. But if you want it, I'm going to have this as a little prize for one of my patrons. Again, if you don't know, if you become a patron, you leave me a tip in my on my Patreon account, my patron page, which I'll put down below. And every month, a winner that I choose gets the project of the month. And this month, or next month, or whenever I deem it, I'm going to be sending this to someone who might like it. If you don't like it, then you can just tell me. But yeah, good idea, Ian, because I have two. I don't need two of them. So, become a patron. Win this. Thank you, Ian.
Bye.
here's my little embroidery hoop tool organizer. Since everyone wanted to see it, I was so anxious. This is the one I made years and years ago, just more of a craft project. Don't hold me to it. And since everyone was like, oh, could you make this? I decided just to pull some fabric that is similar to this look for the one I'm making. I just realized this is more of a sturdy embroidery hoop. This is a plastic embroidery hoop. I don't know where I got that from. It's more sturdy. The one I have that I'm using now is a wooden hoop. So we will see if this wooden hoop stands up to the putting the fabrics together. We will see. I will show you or not if it does. It has this wing nut thing here. It seems to be okay. Now this embroidery hoop was these are about $7. This one was about $7. I'm not quite sure, again, years ago, how much this sturdier one, this plastic one, is. Maybe you want to opt for a better plastic, but we'll see. So this is a, however, whatever size it is, 14-inch diameter. It's the same size, so I'm sort of going off of the same look here. Now, as I said, I'm using sort of the similar fabrics. I just noticed I had like a little bauble pom-pom trim, which isn't really necessary. You can't really see it on here, and I'm not doing that right now. So that's sort of my example. And again, here is my embroidery hoop. Now, there's no reason why you can't do this project with any size hoop. These hoops are a couple bucks. This is $3. This is maybe a heavier plastic one to hold something, but the principle is the same. I'm going to be giving you rough ideas of how you cut your fabric. This is for my 14-inch one, but you can get a rough idea of what you're going to need for whatever size. You can do a larger hoop. I saw an oval hoop. It was really nice, this lovely oval that could have held, I don't know, oval stuff. I don't know, but it was really a neat shape. So they don't come all in round. You can, the world is your oyster. The hoops are your oyster. You can get whatever. So I have this one just for whatever reason, and this is my hoop. Now, again, I have sort of roughly cut what I'm going to be using here, and I'm going to try to give you some kind of idea of a measurement, okay? Now, here's a fat quarter. I thought, can I just make this with 3 fat quarters? Because it doesn't look like a lot of fabric, okay? It doesn't look like a lot of fabric. Here's a fat quarter I just pulled. Again, which is 18 by 22 inches. And you think, oh, that's fine, with the all of the fabric, tucking into an embroidery hoop. But I think I'm going to err on the cautious side, and here's my fat quarter, this is the 18 this way and the 22 that way. That looks like it might be enough, but maybe not, because we have batting in here and we have extra layers of fabric. So what I did, by all means, you can try it, because what the idea of an embroidery hoop is, as you know, if you don't, is you put your bottom hoop on the bottom of your fabric. Again, this is if you were embroidering. You loosen up the wing nut here, or the screw, whatever it is, and then you loosen up the hoop, and then you push your fabric on like so, loosening it up, as you can see, and then you stretch the fabric taut. And again, an embroidery hoop would have been just for that, embroidery or cross stitch or crewel work, and then you tighten it. Okay, so that's the whole purpose. I'm hoping that this less expensive wooden hoop will do the trick without breaking. We will see, and I will show you if it doesn't. So that was my fat quarter, which I guess you could use, but I'm erring on the larger side, and I cut my fabrics. I cut some fabrics out. Again, just slightly. I have 3 different fabrics. Perhaps I think these are about, let me see, these are about 20 inches by 20 inches. I have 3 pieces of fabric about 20 inches by 20 inches. Perhaps this one's a little bit smaller, but that would be the size that I would start with, so you don't have to mess about. Now again, as you see on my example here, all I've done is I have a backing, which is this fabric here. I have a center pocket, which is this fabric here, and I have the outside pocket here, which has been divided with stitching, okay? My second pocket doesn't have any stitching. Just my top pocket is attached to my second pocket. And then my second pocket is just attached on the outside to the third backing. So you can get larger tools or whatever in this, between the backing and the second pocket. But I will come to that. Now, what I have done is I have cut this generously, as you can see. Now that's pretty much, I'm going to straighten this all up. Well, when I go to put it in, it'll obviously be straightened up. But what I've also done is I have cut a 3 pieces of batting, okay? I've cut this piece of batting, and that's to put on the back of our backing fabric, just to make it a little bit more substantial, okay? And I cut that piece of batting, as you can see, a little bit larger. Now I'm not quite sure if I'm going to keep that there. I might actually cut that away, but again, I'm erring on the larger side, so when I come to put this together, if it's too much, I can trim away this batting, okay? On all of them, on the 3 pockets and the backing. But for now, I'm doing it this way. For the sake of losing a little bit of batting, I'm fine with that. So I cut my batting just slightly larger. Again, if you're using this size of hoop, you just cut your batting. This is for the back of our project here, okay? Then for my pockets, I just sort of folded over a double layer the pocket size that I wanted, okay? And again, here's my one pocket, here's this outer pocket, which is this one to this one. You see I have a lot left over. And again, I'm erring on the larger side here, okay? But that is a piece of fabric just cut out and then folded in half. Here is the fold at the top. I did the exact same thing with this second pocket. It's a piece of fabric, maybe a fat quarter, that I have just folded in half to make a padded pocket. Now, what I have done is I have cut smaller, and what is about 2 inches smaller, and again, I might have to cut this away, but I've cut a piece of batting, and that batting goes right up to this top fold on both that outer pocket and 1 layer of batting up to the fold on the second pocket, okay? Now, what I have used, I'm going to put this aside just for now because we're just going to concentrate on our pockets here. What I have used, just because I had grabbed it, is a fusible batting. Okay, this is polyester. As you know, I don't use polyester. I usually mostly cotton. I had this for a while, and I thought, oh, I'll use it because obviously this isn't going to be washed, and it's puffier. It's fine. And I can just use it. It was in my stash. Now this fusible, I have to figure out. It has I guess this nubbly side is the glue side, the fusible. I've never used this. I've used a fusible cotton batting, but I've used a fusible fleece, I should say. I've never used this fusible polyester. So what I've done is I think I've just put that piece inside, and now whichever glue side it is, I'm just going to iron that like that. Each piece, and so it's going to fuse to one side or the other, right? Yeah, that's about right. And then I'll do the exact same thing to here. And again, I've made this batting a little bit bigger, but I have been sure that it goes right up to the top of that fold there. I'll put that right up. I've creased this, and I want it right up at the top of that fold. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over and iron these 2 pieces and secure my batting, and then I'll take this over to my machine, and we will then make the pockets. I'm ironing this fusible batting polyester, which I've never used. I have never ever used this stuff, but it's ironing beautifully. Okay, I have it just sandwiched between my, I guess what, for better explanation, I have just sandwiched between a folded fat quarter. Okay, remember a slightly larger piece of fabric than that, and it has fused, I guess, beautifully. I'm not quite sure what side it's fused to. Oh yeah, it's fused to the side that I'm going to be using for the pockets. Oh, that's fine. It's secured. That's all I'm saying. It's secured inside of this outer pocket. Now I'm going to grab my my second pocket, my interior pocket, making sure this batting goes right to the top. And again, what I have done here, I've secured my batting really nice, made a nice stiff pocket and a stiff pocket on the inside, and I'm imagining that that's my backing is on here. I'm not worrying about that right now. As you can see, it's much bigger, but again, I'm erring on the cautious side that I have enough fabric to mess about with when I go to squeeze it into the embroidery hoop. So what I have done though, I have secured, I've made the pockets nice, exactly where I think I want them to be. The taller that this pocket is up on your hoop, the larger your pocket is going to be for your larger rulers. I mean, there's no reason you couldn't put your pocket up there, so you have all the way from here to here for a ruler. But I'm okay with it about that high. That's about 3/4 of the way up. Perhaps that's how that's with my top up here. Visually, that's how I'm going to do it. And now what I've done is I have secured with pins just around. I've secured these layers together just with pins. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark. I have a pen, it's okay, because you won't see it. I'm just going to mark just a little tiny dash on the fabric. Just a little tiny dash where the hoop is, where the fabric's going to be pushed into, and then I'm going to take this away and I'm going to actually stitch. I'm going to stitch just down, all the way down, or not all the way down, but like down to here, between these lines, this here and here, that's where the hoop is. I'm going to stitch. Now, and again, you can customize this. If you want larger pockets, you can put your lines where you want your larger pockets, or if you want it for a rotary cutter. Whereas my other one, I have, where is it? I have, say I want a glue stick in there, or I want my, hold up. I want my, I want a pencil, I want my seam ripper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of customize this. I'm going to make a few smaller lines down here and making my pockets. I'm just going to create my pockets. I have some thinner rulers. I have my stiletto, so I'm going to make some thinner pockets. And what I am going to do is I'm going to make sure I really reinforce this top edge here, because there will be stress on these pockets here. So you don't want them to be ripping out, because when the fabric your notions go in, there'll be a little bit of stress, but that's okay. That's all right. If you stitch it really well, maybe reinforce it up here, and then maybe even do the twice the pocket things. You, by all means, if you want to, you can get a chalk marker. So as you can see, I've made my pockets all different sizes, and I have my seam ripper and my stiletto and marking tool, and I have a little ruler in there, my pencils, my rotary cutters. It holds quite a lot, and it's so pretty. And then again, your larger, I keep dropping that. Your larger rulers can fit right in here, like you saw my other ones. But right now, what I'm going to do is I've just sort of figured that out, what little craft things I want in my holder. Take them out, and as you can see, this will be another little tiny pocket over here. So I'm very pleased with how this is looking. I have my large pocket and then my individual pockets here. But what I'm going to do now, before I secure around the edge, just loosely, before we put our hoop on, is I've taken my piece of batting that I had cut out, and I've sort of centered it on that where it goes, and the fusible side is obviously to the fabric. I'm now going to just fuse this fusible back to my backing here. And now, very important that you keep, you might even want to mark it, that if you're a marking person, I'm not, but I'm doing this by eye. Now you have to understand that these pockets will be on the top. Okay, these pockets will be on the top. they're not sunk down an inch. So this pocket here, that could come up to here, and you could have a very, very tall pocket to put a big ruler. It'll obviously stick out the top, but you must remember that wherever you position your pockets, that it'll be on the top of your hoop, not as you see it now, not stuck underneath your hoop. So now is the sort of the testing time. I'm going to put this to my side here. I'm going to unscrew it. We're done. We're pretty much done, and well, except for the backing, and I'll show you what I do with that. I'm not quite sure what I do with that, but I'll figure it out. So I'm going to separate my hoop, whatever the fixture is that you have, to the nth degree. And do you always remember that the inner hoop goes on the bottom? The inner hoop goes on the bottom, and I want to center that exactly where I want to make sure that it goes. You're sort of working blind here until you put your top hoop on, okay? So I think that's pretty much where it is. Now, the test, I'm not trimming anything yet. The test is if my hoop will go over this lot of fabric here. And it has to be tight, as you know. So I'm going to loosen it a little bit more. It has to be tight. Well, it has to be loose first, and then you tighten it up. And as you see, if it breaks, you won't see this. And oh yes. Okay, so now mine's pretty much. No, it's not. I gotta loosen it even a little bit more to the nth degree. Now, what I do need to do is, it's gone on, as you can see. Now, there is a lot of batting and stuff inside here. Tons and tons and tons. So, if you're not comfortable, I'm going to trim all this away, obviously. If you're not comfortable, once I put the screw on, this will absolutely be taut and not go anywhere. So I'm really pushing that inner hoop inside here, really push, especially down here, as you can see. But if you wanted to, you could have trimmed off the batting. But I find it makes a nice sturdy organizer, nice sturdy holder, like that. And as you can see, my pockets here are on the top. So my hoop, can you do it? Yeah, my hoop is on, and then it's a matter of just gently, so your upper hoop doesn't pop off. Just a matter of gently, like you people who do embroidery and cross stitch, that your upper hoop doesn't pop off as you just stretch taut your fabric there. And I'm really okay with that. It's going on. I have done it to the nth degree there, as you see. I've put it up a little bit. That wasn't by design. That was like, oh, well, I've got to get this stupid thing on. No, not really. That was my design choice. I made this pocket a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to carefully, I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to start screwing this together like that. And that is so lovely. Very, very nice. Don't worry again about this excess, because we're obviously going to trim this off. So go along this bit. It's padded. You want to make sure that that inner hoop is really taut there. So now I'm going to lift this up and then start to tighten up my hoop. I got to take off the tag. Take that off. Yeah, $6.99. Thank goodness. So for a few fat quarters and a pretty little hoop, you have a sweet, sweet, sweet. I don't want to break it, but there, we're almost done. And there is my lovely little hoop. Now, so what I've done is you can get a piece of cardboard, a box. What I've done is I have these, you may not have them, but I have their comic book boards. And what I've just done is I've taped a few of them together just to make a bit of card, right? Then what I've done, this is for my backing, what I've done is I've taken a piece of fabric. So this project for this size is an embroidery hoop and, well, 4 fat quarters, a bit of glue stick and some batting, and a bit of card. So what I've done is I've taken my trusty old Elmer's glue stick on the card and on the fabric, and I'm just pushing that around like that, okay? We're just upholstering our piece of cardboard. My lovely Elmer's glue stick, I love, love, love. It's purple disappearing ink. Just push it around like so. And I'll just finish covering my backing. It's not great. It's not great at all, but that's okay. What I'm doing now is I just had seen in my over in my notions area, I saw some rickrack, and so I'm just hot gluing very, very carefully. If you've ever worked with hot glue, I'm just hot gluing a little bit of rickrack, pink rickrack around the edge, just to make it pretty. I'm not pulling, I'm not stretching my rickrack at all. Using my hot glue gun. And using the tip, I'm not touching it at all. My backing is not perfect at all. I will address it in the beginning. You really do need to either trim away or the batting, which I will address obviously, or you really do need to tuck it in the hoop again, which I will address. But I like the little bit of rickrack. I think it looks pretty. I'm going to put a bow on the top and put a ribbon. And I will be finished. My backing it doesn't look good at all, but it's against the wall, so it's fine. It's great. It's pretty, and it will do its job. So yeah, I'm just going to finish putting this pretty little rickrack on. I love rickrack. I think it's so sweet. It adds a little bit of a sweet touch to this. Put my ribbon on the top here to hold it. And then, yeah. There's my lovely little holder. Where's my scissors? Right there. Be careful with hot glue when that dries. Oh, so pretty. My backing shows a little bit. I'll address that, but I'm okay with that. In fact, I might put a little bow on there, or not. No, because I want to see but the sides are crummy. But when it's against the wall, oh, it looks super. It looks awesome.